Hello, welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed already. I couldn't do this without you. Just want to start off with a quick apology. You may hear some very loud noises. I've tried to dampen that as much as I possibly can. The soundproofing isn't actually dulling out a lot of what's going on outside. They've got roadworks on there, but it's time to do a video on the Doctor Who San Diego 2024 ComicCon, and I cannot put this off any longer. So Friday the 26th of July was the San Diego Comic-Con, and it featured the Doctor Who panel with Ncuti Gatwa, Millie Gibson, and RTD. This panel also featured a sneak preview of the Christmas episode, and it had some very insightful comments. Now, I was on the Sensesphere yesterday. I seemed a bit different, I guess you could say, because I actually hadn't at that point seen the Comic-Con. From Thursday through to Saturday, I'd been working 12-hour days. So I'd been working long hours. So I went onto that panel completely oblivious to perhaps what the quotes were actually going to be. They were live reactions. So if you would like to check those live reactions out, please do go and check them out. They are linked below. I stand by what I said, but now I've got some more context as to actually what the quotes were taken from. I can give more insightful answers. So the one thing I would like to know about this Comic-Con was the amount of reassurance that Ncuti was looking for from showrunner Russell T Davies. There were times when he was answering a question and he would look over to Russell for that reassurance as to whether or not he was supposed to say it. Obviously, a lot of these answers were perhaps pre-rehearsed. There were certain things that he's allowed to say, certain things that he's not allowed to say. Millie, as far as I could tell, didn't do that at all. So let's discuss the quotes. Some of them were covered last night. You can go and check those out. Like I said, though, I have more context to them now, so I'll be able to answer more fully. Ncuti was asked about what he actually wanted to bring to the Doctor. He said, "I wanted to bring a sense of fun. He's a little bit emotional. I don't know if you've noticed. I wanted him to feel everything because he gets to experience everything. I had a long list from incredible actors to draw from, and how am I going to match up to the people before me? I got a little something from all of them and make it my own." Now, I find this an interesting statement. His Doctor is definitely more than just a little bit emotional. I would have expected for an actor who has gone down the route of making the Doctor very emotional, and his first response is to cry or scream or like have just two varying levels of shouting, to have a much more in-depth answer than that. My question would be, what has he seen and what has he experienced to actually warrant such emotions from this version of the Doctor? So that means talking about past Doctors and what their Doctors have gone through and experienced to get to this stage for your Doctor to be the way that it is. I would have expected more detail with that. He also said that he has incredible actors to draw from, and he's going to have to match up to those particular actors. I thought that they were not allowed to talk about those past performances of the Doctor. So how would he know what it is that he has taken from past elements of the Doctor and applied to now? We need specific answers, I think, here. I've said it many times before that talking about the past Doctors and knowing about the past Doctors is actually really important and integral to playing the role of the Doctor. He's not done, in my opinion, a Sylvester McCoy and taken certain elements from certain Doctors and actually applied it to his Doctor, as far as I can tell. It's not just Sylvester McCoy that's actually done that. Past Doctors have also gone and done that as well, but it's very apparent in the Sylvester McCoy incarnation because he has had 6 previous Doctors to compare to. It's almost like our videos have been watched and he's been coached to say that you've actually gone and done that. Because interestingly enough, after that statement where he provides no examples of what elements from past Doctors he has actually used, he looks at Russell T Davies for some kind of clarification. Now, Russell does respond to him. He thanks him for the research, but implies that it is all about moving forward and making it their own. Russell talks about watching the rushes, which is the raw footage that has already been taken with no cuts. He says that he gets a script and he adjusts the script according to that. He molds the script around them and what they are doing and puts in elements of things that they are not doing as well. This is in response to Shuti's previous statement, of course. Now, I said yesterday that I didn't understand entirely what he was talking about, and I meant that. I knew what he was talking about with regards to rushes. I stand by what I said. It's lazy writing. Scripts get changed all the time. That is a very much a true fact, and sometimes it does actually come from the rushes itself. Generally, it's not something that the actors are doing, though, when it comes from the rushes. It's something that they've seen on screen and it doesn't actually entirely work. And if they're rewriting parts of the script, particularly to mold around the actors at that point when they're actually filming the raw footage, then there is something that is potentially not giving on the screen or perhaps in the read-throughs that is needing to come through, or like maybe they're not giving enough, so they're taking something that the actors are doing as themselves and putting it into the script to make it easier for them. Every script goes through a table read, be it for the professional productions and the amateurs. It all goes through a table read. The reason for that is so that you can listen to it back and make the necessary adjustments that you need for the script and have input from other people as well. That is actually really important. Some of that input can actually come from the actors in the direction that they would actually like to take something. So, like, also, how far do you actually take something like watching the rushes and then making the adaptations to molding it around the actors, because you haven't seen something from them that you need yet, and put it into the script. If you're having lengthy discussions about the direction that you want the characters to go in with the producers, the directors, the writers, and anyone who is involved directly with the script, then all this should have been done pretty much near the beginning. If you know the direction that your doctor is going in from the beginning as early as possible, then this should perhaps be easier to put in the script in very early drafts of it rather than doing it from the rushes. Later, RTD was also asked about the Schalke Doctor being canon, and this is what he said. I would hate to say what's officially canon and what isn't, and if you want it to be. And then he goes on a little bit more, and then he says this. So going to say it's whatever you want. The canon belongs to you. You can invent it. You can create stuff. If that's the case, then the timeless child and the flux that you say definitely exists can just go. It doesn't exist in my head. So that statement should really tell us a lot. The established hard canon of Doctor Who, such as regeneration, because he has control, can no longer exist. That's just an example, by the way. He's not actually said that. To me, with a show, there has to be a certain set of rules that can't be undone. So the fact that the Doctor is an alien, he is a Time Lord, he travels in time, in space, he has two hearts, he is asexual, he has the ability to regenerate, and the first Doctor is William Hartnell, second Pat Troughton, third John Pertwee, fourth Tom Baker, fifth Peter Davison, sixth Colin Baker, seventh Sylvester McCoy, eighth Paul McGann, ninth Christopher Eccleston, 10th David Tennant, 11th Matt Smith, 12th Peter Capaldi. That can't be undone. Ncuti was also asked about the dot and bubble and ending. He had a very interesting response to that. He said that the Doctor has to contend with the notion that he's never been black before, so he's going to be confused by this experience. So he's actually talking about the attitude towards the Doctor at the end of Doctor and Bubble. However, it is implied during the Moffat era that the Time Lords can change their skin color, and if you accept the fugitive Doctor as canon, then technically this statement is wrong. The Doctor has been black before. So therefore, the notion that he's dealing with this sort of attitude shouldn't actually exist. In actual reality, the notion that the Time Lords can regenerate their gender or their skin color should never have come as a shock to the Doctor, because he would have known about it all the time and it would have been a way of life. And he's actually experienced, if you think about it in retrospect, prejudice before, because he is an alien. And Ncuti would have known that if he had done some past research on the Doctors. He was also asked what it means to him about the Doctor being willing to cry. The Doctor has so much loss and joy, and every experience lived to the fullest extent, and I just can't get over this fact that he has two hearts. So he dodges the question. He just feels things very deeply. It wasn't something at which point he glances at Russell T Davies. Specifically, we wanted to bring to the role. There's just something that happened naturally with the direction from the writing and my own interpretation. It was an amalgamation of things. It's nice to have a hero that feels and a man that's not afraid to be in touch with his emotional side. That response was actually, in my opinion, a very shallow one. He knew from the very beginning that was what the plan was. Russell T Davies had actually said he wanted a doctor that was going to be able to cry. More specifically, it was a bit of a question dodge in some respects. He was asked what it means to him to be the doctor willing to cry. He was also asked about the physical theatre company that he performed with, known as Knee High. The question itself came from a drama teacher, and she was asking about his energy, so I think she's actually noticed it too. And he replied that his energy came a lot from the physical theatre group, which was Knee High. You know, my degree is musical theatre. I come from a more acting background with physical theatre. I never really came from a dance background specifically, but I have friends who are on that course who came from a specific dance background to learn singing and acting in order to apply it to their dance skills. And their approach was far bigger than anyone who went in specifically from the acting side. They were not afraid to move. They were not afraid to be energetic. It then became the goal of the teachers to actually teach them how to reduce that energy to make it approachable within the performance techniques. Because of my physical theatre background, that also had to be applied to me as well. However, I got it a bit quicker because I had the acting experience to go with it. I will say that Ncuti has a lot of energy on the screen. One of the things that a lot of these courses, specifically in acting or musical theatre, don't teach you is how to work for the screen. You have to learn how to pull it back. They do actually provide courses that are specifically for acting that we can take outside of our own courses and use it to enhance our own learning. Acting for screen is a completely different skill compared to acting with the stage because the proscenium arch is a lot smaller, so therefore everything has to be made smaller, and it's a difficult transition from theatre to TV for actors to make. I've picked up on his high energy approach to screen acting before this, and I have said it needs to be made smaller. Interestingly, I didn't know that he'd actually done work for Knee High. That gives me much more context now when I talk to about him as an actor. So there was one thing that wasn't mentioned in the video that I watched, and this was via Doctor Who TV, who got this via The Mirror. And it's Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor Who future is reportedly in doubt. The actor has failed to pledge his future to Doctor Who, and Russell T Davies has actually confirmed once again that the BBC and Disney have not locked him into a deal for the next season, which is why Ncuti can't really give an answer, I guess, at this stage. It was said that it was left sort of ambiguous as to if he regenerates or not, whichever. The shock news emerges when Russell, Ncuti, and Millie were promoting the series 2 at ComicCon in San Diego, California. It's stated that it's open-ended. Ncuti told of the pressure he faced as the 15th Doctor and admitted it had taken him 2 years to get a handle on the role. The actor said he has no idea if he's to stay for a third season. When pushed for an answer on Friday, he smiled nervously, glanced at Russell, who confirmed Ncuti's future on the show was up in the air. We've shot season 2, but there's only halfway through. We've got all those months of post to come. It's a long way off, so no decisions yet. Ncuti said playing the Doctor was surreal and added, "Still now, it's a pinch moment for me. I am still growing into the Doctor, but season 2 was lovely. It felt like a suit was fully fitted. I was finding my feet in season 1 and having the time of my life, but season 2 felt like a chance to flex those muscles properly." What doesn't help was that he had Doctor Light episodes. We also get to see a little preview, I guess you could say. That's going to be the Xmas episode with Nicola Coughlan as a companion in this one. We've got a bit of a time window sort of thing going on, as you can see here. So I've just taken some screen grabs here. Listen, it doesn't actually give us much to go on. It shows that the Doctor is going around trying to find a room specifically with a ham and cheese toastie and a pumpkin latte, but he gets the wrong ones. He goes to World War II. He goes to the Orient Express in Italy, 1962, Base Camp Everest, 1953. I tell you what, it would actually be really good to get some historical episodes going on, but we haven't really had a chance to have much of those. So it's nice to actually see something like this being presented. There's a mention of a locked door. Now, I wondered if the Doctor had perhaps once again fixed his chameleon circuit. I'm not sure how Colin Baker will feel about that, being the only Doctor that's ever done it. But it could just also be the time window. So the Doctor is obviously looking for someone specifically, but we don't really know who that person is. So we're guessing that it could be that he's specifically looking for, judging by the smile and asking for the pumpkin latte, that it's going to be Nicola Coughlin's character. As you can see here on the screen, we also have a Silurian. So we are potentially seeing this return of the Silurians in this episode. I don't really have much theories as to what's going on, but I'm assuming that because the Silurians and the Sea Devils are actually, connected, that this is going to be something to do with the spin-off. So perhaps this is a way of reintroducing the Silurians in preparation for that spin-off. Yes, they were presenting it as light-hearted, giving us a bit of humor. I don't really know what to make of it at this stage, but this is essentially what they have given us: ham and cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte, a Silurian, and a new companion for the Christmas episode, but nothing much else to go on. So did you watch the San Diego Comic-Con? What did you make of that? What did you make of the preview? Let me know what you think. Chat about it. Don't shout about it. I will be back tomorrow for TikTok Tuesday. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time.